welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Steve Van Eiderstein. Thank y'all for joining me again today for the daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. Yesterday's May 8th, let me tell you, was a great tool to use. Was a reading that I really enjoyed, and gave us some perspective and some questions to really ask ourselves in those quiet moments as to where we are and what we're doing. So I'm grateful for yesterday's reading for sure, and I hope everyone gets a chance to check that one out for sure. So, but here we go. We're going to go ahead and do May 9th's reading for James Allen's Daily Meditation. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So, here we go. May 9th, James Allen's Daily Meditations. Personal apathies, however natural they may be to the animal man, can have no place in the divine life. Whilst a man is engaged in resisting evil, he is not only not practicing the good, he is actually involved in the like passion and prejudice which he condemns in another. As a direct result of his attitude of mind, he himself is resisted by others as evil. That's powerful. Resist a man, a party, a religion, a government as evil, and you yourself could be resisted as evil. He who considers it as a great evil that he should be persecuted and condemned, let him cease to persecute and condemn. Let him turn away from all that he has hitherto regarded as evil and begin to look for the good. So deep and far-fetching is this precept that the practice of it will take a man far up the heights of spiritual knowledge and attainment. He who will keep the precepts of Jesus will conquer himself and will become divinely illuminated. Excuse me. This is another just outstanding reading for the day. It's a concept I didn't understand at all. When you are resisting evil or resisting sin, let's say, right? Like, this was how it was presented to me that makes most sense. When you go into a 12-step recovery program and you want to quit doing a certain action, right? If you're running, let's say, we'll bring in drinking. Let's say you're an alcoholic, you want to quit drinking, and you're running around all day saying, I'm not going to drink today, I'm not going to drink today, I'm not going to drink today. Initially, you might think that's a good thing, right? That's a sense of conviction. But what I've come to understand, what I've come to realize from my own personal experience, if I'm talking about drinking in any way, even if it's about not drinking, I'm still talking about drinking. Right? If I'm talking about not eating sugary things, I am still talking about eating sugary things. That keeps these habits, these behaviors that we want to change at the forefront of our mind. When we resist things, when we fight things, it becomes the utmost priority of what we're doing. And then whatever that is can turn back into a problem very quickly. Because we never let it go. Our mind had a preoccupation with that thing because we thought we were doing the right thing by saying we weren't going to drink. We weren't going to eat sugar. We weren't going to drink caffeine. We're still thinking about it. We're still holding it in our mind. And what we've learned from these readings and James Allen's teachings is what you think about will eventually manifest itself in the world outside of you. I said this a little bit yesterday, but when I came in, I needed to learn to stop lying. So I didn't practice not lying. I practiced honesty. Right? I needed to stop hating, so I started loving. I needed to stop resenting, so I started forgiving. I needed to stop being irresponsible, so I started to be disciplined. I practiced different things. I didn't stop practicing other things only. I started practicing different things to have a different behavior. So, this was a great one. So, let's go back through it. Personal apathy. Oh, excuse me. I read it wrong the first time. Personal antipathies, however natural they may be to the animal man, can have no place in the divine life. Let's look that up just to make sure. Antipathies. A deep-seated feeling of dislike, aversion. So, deep-seated feelings of dislike or aversion, however natural they may be to the animal man, they have no place in the divine life. We can't think like that. The animal part of us, the lower nature part of us, might think like that, but we cannot. When you're living a divine life, you do not think like that. Whilst a man is engaged in resisting evil, he is not only practicing the good, he is actually involved in the like passion and prejudice which he condemns in another. When we actively are fighting things, actively condemning and resisting something, well, we actually engage in bringing about more of it, right? And you'll be associated with that same evil you seek to conquer, which is probably a very depressing thing. It was a very upsetting thing to understand, that what you resist, you become, whether it's by association, whether it's something you give back into your own selfish or sinful urges to, whatever it might be. You become involved in like passion and prejudice which he condemns in another. And as a direct result of his attitude of mind, he himself is resisted by others as evil. We become so entrenched in our opinions, we become so identified with our resistance towards a said evil, we become the opposite, right? It's been said in many ways by many people, much smarter than me, much wiser than me. But when you have one extreme, that births the other, right? When you have an ultra-conservative, you'll have an ultra-liberal. Because there needs to be that reflection, and you become the other end of the spectrum, right? So, a direct result of his attitude of mind, he himself is resisted by others as evil. You start to become associated with that and part of the evil problem. Resist a man, a party, a religion, a government as evil, and you yourself will be resisted as evil. Because you're playing the same games that they are. You're involved in the same wars as they are. You're coming from a place other than love when you're dealing with things, when you have this state of mind, this perception of life. He who considered it considers it as a great evil that he should be persecuted and condemned. So, someone that believes that to be persecuted and condemned is evil for someone else to do, right? And you yourself, be persecuted and condemned. Let him cease to persecute and condemn, right? One thing I had to learn, it was the lesson I learned early on in sobriety. It's taken me a long time to implement and learn and believe it, but I thought others were being judgmental because I was judgmental, right? And that's what he's talking about. And for me to stop judging others, or for me to stop believing others were judging me and thinking that was wrong, I had to stop judging them, right? But as soon as that understanding came and I was able to put that into effect, my perspective started to change immensely when it comes to this stuff. But that's what he's talking about here. He who considers it as a great evil that he should be persecuted and condemned, let him cease to persecute and condemn. You cannot rebuke an evil when you practice it yourself, right? That's what we're talking about here. Let him turn away from all that he has hitherto regarded as evil and begin to look for the good. If you look for evil, you will find evil. What you look for, you will find. I say that all the time. If you want to find trouble, you'll find trouble. If you want to find harmony, you'll find harmony. If you want to find peace, you'll find peace. Look for the good things. This is where you get to shape your life, right? This is where you get to be a part of living. Begin to look for the good. So deep and far-fetching is this precept that the practice of it will take a man far up the heights of spiritual knowledge and attainment. So in other words, that truth is so real and so valid and is so deeply ingrained in this universe that when we understand that and start to apply it, it will take a man far up the heights of spiritual knowledge and attainment. We will grow more than we will ever understand possible when we begin to practice this understanding. When we begin to stop practicing the sins that we accuse others of. You know, they say in the 12-step recovery room, spot it, you got it. When you see someone acting in a way, especially that bothers you, it's most likely because you've done it or something similar to it. But it was done for the same reasons that you would do something. So you understand it. So, if you don't want to be judged, don't judge yourself. And trust me, just watch how your life changes. The last line here. He who will keep the precepts of Jesus will conquer himself and will become divinely illuminated. So when we practice the teachings that Jesus taught, we will conquer ourselves and become divinely illuminated. We will have wisdom and understanding beyond our comprehension when we're able to actually do these things. So, but all right, well, that was May 9th from James Allen's Daily Meditations, and another just very honest, forthright, and straightforward reading here of what we need to make sure of and what we need to watch out for in ourselves and how we need to conduct ourselves. So, thank you all so much for jumping on today. I really greatly appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what tomorrow holds for the rest of the summer up here in the United States. So thank y'all for joining me, and until next time, thanks.